아이고! Ollie, get yourself some non-branded beer.
Oh, you don't brand on this channel?
Hey, we dabble.
Oh, yeah.
Not my
Off
first
to a
time.
flying start.
We all salam in the car. I'll pour my own drink, thank you. Ollie, cheers, mate.
Oh yeah, I just drank it
No, it's
straight
fine,
away.
it's
I
fine,
feel
it's
like
a
we're in
different
England. See. How you doing, Joel?
Mate, I'm doing so well. It's so good to have you in Korea.
Thanks, man.
It's weird to say that, bro. I'm used to coming to Korea
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
or because of you and Josh, and now I live here.
Yeah. But I feel like I see you more now than I did when we lived in London.
You reckon?
I think so. Well, since we moved
Since
west.
you deserted me.
Yeah. As the people watching the video probably don't know, we used to live very close to
Stone's
each other.
throw.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived with Josh at the time when you guys started the channel, and you basically lived.
I basically lived with
in
you.
the house.
Yeah. I mean, when we started the channel,
Yeah.
we were working from Josh's bedroom,
Yeah.
which he was also sharing with Young, right? And this is something that I still, every now and again, remember, and I just cannot believe, right? That Young was cool with me editing with Josh through the night, like 3 or 4 nights a week, while he's sleeping in the same room. It's unbelievable.
It's classic.
It's unbelievable. If there's any noise, any light, anything on my mind,
Yeah.
I just can't sleep.
Yeah.
Young comes in, says hi, pleasantries, how you doing?
Yeah.
Give him a hug. He's like, oh, I'm probably gonna go to sleep now. And we're like, okay, cool. Maybe 30 seconds, and we would hear snoring. Like, it was unbelievable. It's like he has a switch. He probably got a switch like here, and he just goes like, and then impossible to wake up.
Yes.
Yeah, if he's sleeping on a plane and it goes down, he'd never know. He'd
game
never know.
over.
He'd just
It's the best way
sleep
to go.
through it. Unbelievable.
Those days are crazy, man.
We all had jobs, like normal jobs. I would be working like 9 to 5, then come back and edit until like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then like there would be 1 or 2 nights a week where we just like edit until 9 a.m. and then go to work in the morning. Crazy.
Absolutely.
I don't miss that. But I do miss seeing you more.
Oh man, tell me about it. That's part of life, isn't it? Part and parcel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ollie, I hear that you like chicken, so we laid out some chicken. Mate, get involved. It's called Cultwo Chicken.
Cultwo Chicken. Cool. Cull.
Cull, yeah.
Like
And you cull it.
all the chickens have been infected with a disease, and you need to stop the spread.
Stop.
So you cull them.
But bon appetit. This one's amazing. How is it? It comes with like these little docks as well. Just what the doctor ordered, isn't it?
Yeah. Interestingly shaped duck.
This chicken here, bruv,
Uh-huh.
I'm a big fan of like just chicken and salt. So what I love to do, just break up the thing, get a bit of the tender out. I just give it a bit of dab and salt, and then
Okay.
this batter's got a little something to it anyway.
Wow.
too much salt now.
All I taste is salt. Oh my gosh.
Chicken and salt. There's partners in crime, in my opinion.
So yeah, back in the day, I remember seeing you at all hours of the night because you were working freelance as well. So
One day I was in New York, next week I was in Indonesia, next week I was in France, next week I was in Australia, next week I was in.
I feel like there's this time after you leave university where you're really qualified, but you don't have any experience.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years later, suddenly it's so much easier to find more interesting, gratifying work. Or at least that was the case for us, right?
Back then you were working for a premise charity, right?
I was really lucky out of university. We basically graduated in 2010? The financial crisis was in 2008. It lingered on. So by 2010, we graduated and there were just like no jobs. And the only work that was interesting was unpaid, which I couldn't afford to do. And I just got really lucky. I spoke to an old friend of mine. I'd been involved in homeless outreach work. And there was a group of churches actually that were trying to start a new charity in Tower Hamlets. It's the poorest district in London. Basically the idea was that they were trying to get 7 churches to volunteer their buildings. If they could get those people to volunteer 1 night a week for the duration of the winter, they could have a night shelter for free to make sure that no one in Tower Hamlets slept on the streets. I basically was hired to start that. And it was just amazing because it's like I was straight out of university, I was like full of energy, really passionate about the cause of homelessness. I still am today. You know, I had this opportunity where I wasn't paid much, but enough to pay rent and to eat.
Yeah.
And in return, I got to spend my days like trying to do just a very little thing to help people not sleep on the street through the winter. I know when Josh spoke to you before, and one of the things that he was talking about is community and how important it is, especially through what we do these days. We need a community to support us. But I think back then with the homeless shelter, I learned that actually communities themselves like can achieve a lot. You know, like I feel like we work in a world where your work is like you're such a singular entity. Like you go to work,
That's it.
and your wife goes to work, your partner goes to work, and your friend goes to work. You all work in different things, and your working lives are kind of separate.
Yeah. I just.
We are living in the future. We are living in the future. I love how people on those things, right? In order to maintain balance, you just have to be so nonchalant.
Oh.
You know, you can't be like striding. You have to just stand there like. you know what I mean?
From that, you started the channel. You're still working for the homeless charity, and you're doing a masters, right?
Yeah.
Was that
among a few other things? Yeah. Especially the first year of starting the channel was a time of tremendous excitement, but it was really hard. You're putting yourself out there. We're doing a little bit of travel, which actually isolates yourself from people back home.
right?
And I had enough going on in every area of my life that it was just like mentally not manageable. You know, as we were working more and more and more and more, the channel was taking off. I had a master's degree to do. I was working in a full-time job. And I had a second part-time job. I was managing a debt advice centre voluntarily, and I was married and trying to have a life outside of all of those things. And I just like about 6 months in, I just emotionally couldn't handle it, and I was so stressed. I like suffered genuine like anxiety. And had panic attacks, and you know, you were with me through a lot of that, and you weren't in a great place either. So you know, it's not all me that's being the sob story. I feel like you and I were in a pretty dark place around the same time. I don't know, I just started to fall apart mentally. I started to fall apart, and thankfully shortly after that we were able to go full-time on the channel. You know, I graduated from doing my master's degree, a lot of things like tied up. I actually remember talking to Josh at the end of like the first year where Josh had just gone full-time. I was just about to go full-time with the channel, and Josh was like, he does this thing where like I get down in the dumps and he tries to cheer me up, and he's like, you know, we just need to be grateful of all the great things. And I was like, yeah, you're right. He was like, you know, it's been so good, hasn't it? And you know, surely it's all worth it. And I remember this moment when I was saying to him, it hasn't been worth it. There's no way.
Wow.
Like, it hasn't been worth the toll on me in the last 6 months. Now you look back with like the wider hindsight, and of course it's been worth it. But in that moment, I just felt like I was going crazy. I couldn't sleep at night. It felt like I wish we hadn't done this. It's crazy.
First 3 months of doing our own channel, and like this form of anxiety because you're putting yourself out there. We kind of like, for those first 3 months, we were like, oh my gosh, this is how Josh and Ollie must feel. We had this kind of new, I don't know what the word is, revenance? Camaraderie, yeah. I've never struggled with anxiety. In the first 3 months, I grind my teeth when I sleep now. Those first 3 months, I broke my filling, and I've got a gold tooth. So every
cloud.
Every cloud. Every silver
has
cloud.
A gold lining. And I'll seal it.
But I think that, you know, that kind of leads me on to like my question of, Josh fell in love with Korea.
I thought you were going to say fell in love with me.
And you fell in love with Josh.
I did.
And now you're in Korea. You know, and now your life is this country. But I think Josh is definitely like a bridge for this culture, and I think that's something that's really beautiful. I think Josh in and of himself has this amazing thing of like making anything amazing, if Josh says, "Alright, let's go PC Bang," I'll go to PC Bang, and he'll be like, "This is amazing." 3 weeks later, I'm like, "Actually, it's not actually that amazing." Like Starship Craft or whatever it's called, and sorry, I did that on purpose. I know it's called Starcraft.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, is actually really, in my opinion, really boring. But there's things that he was showing me that.
I just want to distance myself from that opinion.
I'm joking, it is though. Gas and wood, I don't know, whatever it is. I always get it mixed up with Settlers of Catan. Don't know why.
That's a board game.
Yeah, right? I think it's because it's got gas and wood in it. Okay, anyway. But Josh has this amazing way of like, anything he likes, it's like everyone gets to know that, right? And that's something that's really beautiful about my relationship with everyone's relationship. Anyone who comes in to know Josh. The thing about Korea though, is it's so much more than just this, wow, you've got to come see this country, which is what it was for me. It's like this immediate, you're here, and like, for me, I just fell in love with Korea. And it holds its own. It's like, it doesn't matter like, okay, you can be an advocate for this, but if I just don't feel it, I just don't feel it. Korea, I feel it.
Korea is a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
Huge part. You know, we spend a lot of time here. I remember I only realised that, I think, when my dad came.
Right.
I remember like on the way to the airport to pick him up and being like nervous.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I really want him to love it. And regardless of how the videos turn out, I remember just being like, I want him to see what I've seen and to feel what I feel about this place and these people. And I remember just reflecting on that, like, Korea means something to me. Because I think it's so easy for me to just live my life vicariously through Josh. When we're filming, I have a viewfinder on, so I'm not even looking at the world through my eyes. I'm looking through a viewfinder, through a camera lens, at Josh. So it was strange for me to think about my dad coming, and you know, it felt like introducing him to a girlfriend or something back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I want you to like this, and I want you to see why this is amazing. I want you to care and be enthusiastic about it. Yeah. Which is why I think for me, bringing him here was just so easily my favourite of the series, because he did just love it. He got it, you know. And there's something so powerful about people you love sharing a love of something with you. Yeah, it's weird to look back, like when Josh first went to Korea, I had never been to Korea. I was completely ignorant. I knew a little bit about the economics of Korea's history. So when Josh went to study in Korea, I was like, oh, we got to go. We actually stayed in like a pension in Seongsan. It was actually only for former military personnel. And I won't tell you how we got a place in that, but it was really intimidating. Go to the showers and there's a general.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was just a weird place. I remember we turned up, we get in, and Josh was like, and this is your room. And we go like, where are the beds? It's just literally a floor. And there's just like these soft mats for you to lie on. I was like, I'm not going to sleep. But at this point, we hadn't slept for like 24 hours because of the flight and everything. And so we get in, and sure enough, I fall asleep almost instantly, right? And I get really hot in my sleep. And I wake up at like 2 in the morning, and I was like, I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I was like, I'm literally on fire. I was drenched in sweat. Like,
I know what's going on.
Honestly, there was a pool. It was like I got out of the shower and just climbed on top of that mat. It was disgusting. It was unbelievable. I had a headache because I was so dehydrated, because I sweated so much. And I was like, what is going on? I am dying here, right? And I feel the ground is heated. They didn't even tell me. The ground's heated. You know what I did? I went to the toilet and I just lay on the tiles naked. And I was just like, to cool down.
At like 2 in the morning, and this general just standing there like, of course he's going to have that expression. You're cooling down on the tiles completely naked, you look up and
I'm dripping in my own sweat. It was honestly one of the worst experiences of my life. So that was my first night I ever slept in Korea.
Mate, I arrive in Korea. Josh hasn't told me that they have this crazy climate in winter, and so I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't even bring a coat. And we arrive and it's like -15. I was like, Asia, it's gonna be hot in it. Literally, I'm like, yeah, Asia, everyone goes there and it's like really hot. That's why they go there, right? Because it's British mentality. Okay. Why would you go to another country unless it's hot?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Brits.
We stay in the same place.
We're in the same place.
Who is it?
I slept really well because it had floor heating.
Great, the floor heat.
It was so good.
Floor heating, it's literally like hell. In hell, the floor is heated
The only one
by fire.
Touche. So, okay, so you don't like floor heating.
Yeah.
Weird. But coming back to, you're saying about like introducing to your dad, right? Introducing Korea to your dad. You also introduce Korea to not only your dad, other people, your other friends. And I think that's, from an outside perspective, that's something I really love about you guys is you build that sense of community.
Chris said about bringing Jenny to Korea. If you love something, you want to show it to the people you love.
Right.
And so I think there's definitely, that is real, right? I think sometimes there can be a perception that what we're doing is contrived, but it isn't. It's like we love Korea, Korean culture, and the people that we bring are people that we love and we want to show them that. Imagine doing that for a job. Seriously, imagine doing that for your job. Your job is to take your friends to a place that you love and spend like months preparing how they can have an incredible time. That's real, and that's such a privilege. I think that's like the biggest privilege of this job.
I think this is a multifaceted thing between Korea and what you guys do. It just enables this real sense of friendship to build because I've known you for 11 years. When did I get to know you? Like there's been times where you've been there for me, put your hand around my shoulder, you said it's gonna be right, Joel, and I was having a freak out. But really, like the thing that really stands out in my life, like in terms of our relationship, was America. 4 a.m. driving into Denver, 140 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about that so much.
We're at the end of our tether, you're doing your masters at the moment. But there's something about that pushed
I
us.
was writing my master's dissertation.
It's more than just sense of privilege. It's an honor. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's privilege. There's like the fact that we're getting to do this, but then there's the honor of like actually, wow, I get to engage in a deeper friendship. These things enable us to be put together, and that's something that it's not like one day we just said let's drive from LA to New York, and it's like right, and then next thing we know it felt for me it felt like that. But like the meticulous, we've got to stay here, we've got to do, planning it all out. It takes, as you say, it takes months. Yeah. Nothing here that's happening is superficial. It's like we're just doing, like anyone, we're going through life together. Yeah. We're just doing life together, and
it's such a weird arrangement, right? I see you maybe twice a month, but we live on other sides of the planet, right? And I think what's nice about that is we see each other regularly enough that we can build like a real friendship. I see you as much as really I see any of my friends. Every time we see each other is because one of us has just flown like 9,000 miles in order to catch up. I think it like adds a certain intensity to the friendship, and I think for us that's been a really positive thing.
Yeah.
But I think also it's been so awesome seeing you like come out here and like genuinely fall in love with the culture and the people and see you thrive here, I guess. And I don't mean that in a patronizing way.
Yeah.
But it's like I've known you through like really rough patches in your life. You've known me through really rough patches in my life. And we're both like doing quite well now. Yeah. Like emotionally, like with our mental health. And that hasn't always been the case for both of us. When you've seen a friend go through like so much crap and then suddenly things are looking up, it's just like, it's it's so cool, man.
Me and Dan basically living together, seeing each other every day, and I've never had that depth of like closeness and daily with someone. I'm very used to like being socially alone. Very right, you do your stuff, it's compartmentalized, and then you have your friends, but that's how you social, that's how you get your electricity, that's how you do this, and you're there for each other, but it's not, especially in London, it's so hard to go deep. So hard to go deep, and I love that doing this work and committing to it, it's a journey, man. Life is a journey. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I mean, certain people I'm like, I've got friends, right? And then there's certain people I'm like, I've got brothers. To have one of those people is a blessing, you know. You know, I mean, three of them are right here, right now, and I don't want to get emotional because I'll start crying or something. But
you'll make me cry as well.
Mate,
oh my gosh.
No, man. Just
seriously, since Juno's born, it's like
I can't imagine, can't imagine.
A tap. Literally, I'll be on the plane and there'll be like somebody has like a daughter and nothing tragic happens. Like they're a happy family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, life is so precious. I've told you about when Lizzie gave birth, right? Finally, Juno comes out, and she's just beautiful, right? She's just, oh my gosh. She's just like straight away you're like, oh, I love you. But you're also like, I haven't slept in 24 hours and I'm a little bit freaked out by everything that's just happened. And so like emotionally it's just like, it's a big moment.
Oh, mate.
They cut the umbilical cord and they take Juno and they put her in my arms, right? As they're like handing her to me, I'm like like I'm looking for the guy who's qualified, right? And there's no one behind me, so they give her to me, and I'm just like looking down at her, and I was like, my heart's going, and then suddenly I just like start bawling, like just crying. I was crying so hard, but I was trying not to freak her out. And like a giant is holding you, going like, you know, like I was like, I'm gonna freak her out, so I'm like silent crying. Which everyone knows, if you silent cry, it goes into the face. You know, like the face, like I start crying so hard that I get a nosebleed, right? And I just start bleeding. So I'm now bleeding, right, onto my t-shirt, everything, onto her, right? And the nurses look at me, and I'm like, I was trying to tell you that this is a bad idea. Right, and I'm still crying. I've got a nosebleed, and it's the blood's coming fast, right? And I'm like, we need to stop the bleeding. Yeah. This is now a medical emergency. So, fatherhood.
It gives me a lot of confidence.
Yeah, seriously, you will do it better than I did.
Oh, mate.
Trust me.
No, you're doing well, mate. You're so great, man.
One of the things that you probably don't want to keep this in, but you know, like from certain periods in life, you remember certain things.
Yeah.
There's this one night that I remember from editing in your flat in Holloway. I think you know what I'm talking about, right? You were doing a lot of travelling to Kuala Lumpur, right? Indonesia. Jakarta. And every time you went, you seemed to get some kind of stomach bug. And we were editing, this is at the time, we were editing through the night. We're editing, you come back at like midnight.
Yeah.
And you come in, you're like, hey guys, I'd love to hang out for a bit, but I'm feeling really rough, so I'm just gonna go to sleep. And so you go into bed, and then like half an hour later, we just hear like, do, pa! Oh, like this, right? Right? And then you like trudge back to your room, and we're just hearing this, right? 20 minutes later. And this happens maybe 5 times. I remember saying to Josh, like, we need to say a prayer for Joel. Like, he is in a bad way. He's in a bad way, right? And then I remember we hear, dun-dun. Oh no. Oh, guys, I need some help.
Just crying, and I've got a nosebleed.
You hadn't made it to the toilet. Yeah. I don't know why.
Just in case people didn't understand what that meant. Yeah, I just made it to the toilet. Oh, allow me, Rob.
Anyway, I just remember thinking, I don't know why, when I think of that flat, that's like one of the defining things. That and Young's alarm going off like next to his face for like half an hour at full volume, and it's like shaking his skull and he's still not waking up. It's unbelievable. It's like, and he's like, Crazy. He literally, he wouldn't need to take general anaesthetic.
Yeah.
Like he could just go to sleep and they'd be like, yeah, let's do the heart surgery now. We don't need to waste the drugs on him. He's not going to wake up.
Oh my days.